The Carolina Panthers are standing at a crossroads that could define our secondary for years, and it all revolves around one crucial decision. We've watched this defense transform into a unit that can finally compete, but keeping that momentum alive requires a signature on the dotted line. As an insider who has walked the halls at Bank of America Stadium, I can tell you the tension is real. Do we secure a proven veteran now, or risk losing a cornerstone of our defense for nothing next spring? Let's dive in. Mike Jackson is the name everyone is whispering about in the front office right now, and for good reason. He has formed what many believe is the premier cornerback duo in the entire league alongside J.C. Horn. While Horn brings that lockdown energy, his counterpart has been the steady hand that keeps this defensive backfield together. However, our general manager Dan Morgan is facing a massive financial puzzle that isn't just about the defense. We have to talk about Bryce Young because his looming contract extension is the elephant in the room that changes every calculation the team makes. The front office is looking at a situation where extending the veteran cornerback would actually create $3.24 million in immediate cap space. That is money we desperately need to stay under the limit while still being competitive. Yet, there is a hesitation in the building. Morgan and the coaching staff are also looking at the future with young talent like Will Lee III, who was drafted as a high-value pick to potentially take over that role. This is the ultimate balancing act of trying to win right now while keeping enough money in the bank to pay a franchise quarterback if he finally takes that massive leap we are all praying for this season. The Panthers were the fourth highest spenders in free agency this past year, which shows that the ownership is willing to open the checkbook to help their young signal caller succeed. But if the offense doesn't improve, committing $40 million over 3 years to a cornerback who will be 30 years old might look like a mistake in hindsight. It's a fascinating chess match where every move has a ripple effect. If we keep the veteran, we keep the secondary dangerous, but we might limit our flexibility elsewhere. If we let him play out his final year, we risk him walking for nothing or his price tag skyrocketing if he has another elite season. Dan Morgan has to decide if the immediate cap relief is worth the long-term commitment to a player entering his 30s, especially with a rookie like Lee waiting in the wings to prove he can handle the pressure. The impact of this decision goes far beyond just the salary cap numbers on a spreadsheet. When you look at how the secondary performed last season, the chemistry between the two starters was undeniable. This veteran defender provides a level of consistency that allows the rest of the defense to take risks and stay aggressive. He isn't just a body on the field. He is a communicator who understands the nuances of the scheme and helps the younger safeties stay in position. If the team decides to move forward without a new deal, they are essentially betting that the rookie can step up and provide that same level of stability. That is a massive gamble for a team that is trying to prove it belongs in the postseason conversation. Think about the legacy of great defensive backs in Charlotte and how much a reliable veteran means to a winning culture. This player has earned the respect of the locker room through his work ethic and his ability to shut down high-profile receivers on Sundays. Keeping him in the building provides a safety net for the entire roster. It allows the coaching staff to focus on fixing the offense without worrying if the back end of the defense is going to crumble. On the other hand, the front office has to be objective about the aging process in the NFL. Cornerbacks often see a sharp decline once they hit that 30-year-old milestone, and locking into a long-term deal could leave the team stuck with an expensive contract for a player who has lost a step. It's a cold, hard reality of the business. The what-if scenario here is terrifying. What if the secondary regresses because we didn't lock down our best players? Or what if we spend the money now and then realize we don't have the resources to fix other glaring holes next year? The leadership in the building is weighing these options every single day. They know that a dominant defense is the only way to support a young offense that is still finding its identity. By keeping this unit intact, they give the entire team a fighting chance to win the division. At the end of the day, this whole situation is about winning more games and making sure this franchise is heading in the right direction. If the front office decides to pass on this extension, the immediate risk is that our defense takes a step backward. We all know how frustrating it is to watch a lead evaporate because of a broken coverage or a lack of experience in the secondary. By keeping the current lineup together, the Panthers are choosing the safest path to a winning record. It is much easier to sleep at night knowing you have two elite corners who can take away half the field. This helps the defensive line get more sacks because the quarterback has nowhere to throw the ball. It's a domino effect that makes everyone on the field look better. However, the risk of failure is also tied to the quarterback. If the team spends all their money on the defense and the offense still can't score points, then we are just spinning our wheels in the mud. We need to see a clear sign that the investment in the roster is paying off with actual victories on the scoreboard. The consequence of letting a talented starter walk away for nothing is that you are essentially starting over at a vital position. You are putting your faith in a young player who hasn't proven he can handle the speed of the NFL on a regular basis. That can lead to a season-killing stretch of losses that drains the energy out of the stadium and the fan base. We've seen it happen before, where one departure causes the whole house of cards to fall down. The fans deserve a team that is built to last, not one that is constantly plugging holes because they couldn't manage the budget correctly. Every decision made this offseason is a brick in the foundation of the future. If we want to return to the top of the NFC South, we have to make the choices that lead to the most wins right now. The margin for error is razor thin, and losing a key piece of the defense could be the difference between a playoff berth and a long winter. Let's look at the two paths this could take, because the stakes couldn't be higher for the blue and black. In the best-case scenario, Dan Morgan decides to pull the trigger on an extension right now. This move immediately frees up over $3 million in cap space, which allows us to add even more depth before the season starts. The veteran cornerback rewards that faith by playing at an all-pro level, shutting down every receiver in his path. The defense becomes the most feared unit in the league, giving the offense plenty of short fields and extra opportunities. This stability allows the rookie, Will Lee, to develop at his own pace without the crushing pressure of being a starter on day one. We win the division, the stadium is rocking, and the future looks brighter than ever. But now, imagine the worst-case scenario. We decide to let him play out his contract without a new deal. He feels disrespected by the lack of commitment, and his play starts to slip. Or even worse, he plays great, but then signs a massive contract with a rival team like the Falcons or the Saints next year. Suddenly, we have a massive hole in our defense and no money to fill it because we are stuck in a difficult spot with the quarterback's contract. The secondary becomes a liability, and we find ourselves losing close games because we can't get a stop when it matters most. The pressure on the young rookie becomes unbearable, and his confidence is shattered before he even gets a chance to grow. This is the nightmare that keeps fans awake at night. It is the difference between building a legacy and being stuck in a cycle of rebuilding every 2 years. The tension in the front office is palpable because they know one wrong move could set the franchise back 5 years. We are at a tipping point where every signature and every dollar matters. The path we choose today will determine if we are celebrating a championship or searching for a new direction next January. The choice is clear, but the execution is where the real drama lives for our fans. The situation with Mike Jackson is a perfect example of the tough choices that come with running an NFL team. We have a chance to keep an elite secondary together and save some much-needed money in the process, but the long-term future of the quarterback position is casting a long shadow over everything. Dan Morgan has proven he isn't afraid to spend money to improve the roster, but he is also being careful not to trap the team in a bad financial situation. It's a delicate dance between the present and the future. As fans, we just want to see a product on the field that makes us proud to wear the jersey. We want to see a defense that hits hard and an offense that can finally move the chains. Be honest with me, would you rather lock down our veteran cornerback right now to save cap space, or would you let him walk to keep all our options open for Bryce Young next year? This is a decision that will define the era. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Panthers news. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update.